Hey everyone, welcome back to the kitchen. I hope you're having a great week, enjoying your weekend, and are ready to do some fantastic cooking. I am excited about today's episode. Once again, another request, what I like to call another great idea, because anytime I get something different to cook, like I said last week, that is a great idea, because I love variety. This one I'm really excited about because this dish really takes me back. Takes me back to cooking, all the years I've been cooking, and this one takes me back a long time. Today we're going to make chicken cordon bleu, and I think that is a dish that is everywhere, and I think that it frightens people who don't know how to make it because it sounds so fancy, and I think that people that like to make it steer away from it because they figure, hey, everybody's doing it, so I'm just not going to make it today. And it's a mistake because it is really great stuff. And for those of you who don't know how to make chicken cordon bleu, let me let you know one very important fact about it. It's chicken stuffed with ham and cheese. How easy is that, and what's not to love about it? There's a trillion different ways to make it. And in fact, I knew when I got this request, I've had a recipe for chicken cordon bleu. I had to go searching for this. I found this book. I've had this book since my freshman year of college. It was given to me by a friend. It was empty. I never knew what to put in it. So, hang on, I wrote it down. Yep. Lloyd's Recipes, established September of 2000. I started writing recipes down in this book 20 years ago. Wow, 20 years ago next month. And I had to go looking, and I found my chicken cordon bleu recipe that is in here, and it's over 20 years old. And so I went and looked up other recipes to see varieties and changes and differences, and there are some, but classic chicken cordon bleu doesn't change. That's why it's a classic. And restaurants all over make it because everybody loves it, and it's easy. And when it's done right, it looks beautiful on the plate. So let's make it, and thank you for the suggestion, the request, because I love cooking this and I really love eating it. So let's get into it. Chicken breast. First and foremost, obviously you need to get yourself some nice chicken breast. Some recipes will tell you the bigger the piece, the better. I don't think that's necessary because we're going to pound it into a thinner piece anyway. So get yourself some nice, well-trimmed chicken breasts. Flat surface. If you notice, I'm not putting this on a cutting board or anything. Directly on the counter on some plastic. And I'm covering it in a piece of plastic. Okay? We are going to, using my mallet, which I love. Is this not the coolest mallet? There's a teeth side, a toothed side, and a flat side. I'm using the flat side because I don't want to tenderize this chicken and stab it full of teeth. I just want to pound it out flat, about 1/4 of an inch thick. So take your chicken breast, however big or small they are, on a flat surface like the countertop. I apologize if the camera is shaking, but we are going to gently, using a mallet, pound this piece of chicken down and make it thin. You don't want to start hitting it hard because you don't want to beat it up. You don't want to terrorize it and rip it to shreds. You just want to flatten it out thin. 2 reasons. One, it makes it easier to cook. And 2, after you stuff it, it makes it easier to roll up. Those big thick pieces you get, can't do much with them as far as stuffing if you don't either butterfly it open or pound it down flat. Well, we're going to pound ours down flat. Done. Take it obviously out of the plastic. And I've got a thin piece of chicken. Next step, I am going to use a cutting board now. So, nice and thin, yeah? I've got here some kosher salt and some finely ground black pepper, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on. How much? Not much. Just a pinch or two. just sprinkling some on. That's it. That's it, just for some inside flavor. You don't need a lot, especially salt, because everything that we're cooking together, there's salt in all of this. Don't need to add too much more. Trust me. Piece of ham, nothing special. Listen, there are all kinds of deli hams you can buy out there at the store, from extremely cheap to extremely expensive. You don't need to go buying the most expensive, fanciest piece of meat, because we're rolling it up and cooking it with other items anyway. Just get some nice good ham and a piece of Swiss cheese. That's all that's going inside. Sprinkled with salt and pepper, flat piece of chicken, ham and cheese. Now, we're going to roll it up. Not into like a tight wad. Just going to roll it over, let's say 2 times. Some recipes will tell you to take the chicken and fold it directly in half. I don't want to do that. The reason why I don't want to do that is because when this cooks, I don't want the cheese and everything to run out the sides. I want to keep it all together. Keep all the juices together. Keep it nice and close. So I'm going to fold it over, keep it tight, fold it over, and close it up. So you see? Now that I've done that, oven's ready. It dinged. I've got some toothpicks. I'm going to toothpick it together. I grabbed 3 toothpicks because I wanted to be careful, but I really don't need them. I've got it nice and closed tight. I'm just going to put 2 in all the way. See? Now, done. Let's go home. Huh. No. So, next, you can use butter. You can use a beaten whole egg. I, as you know from watching me in other videos, am choosing to use some egg white for my egg wash. I just took 2 egg whites and dropped them in a bowl. That's it. There's nothing else in there but egg white. And I've got plain breadcrumbs. What I did to the plain breadcrumbs was I seasoned them myself. 2 things. That's it. 1 teaspoon of thyme, half a teaspoon onion powder. That's it. 1 teaspoon thyme, half teaspoon onion powder in the breadcrumbs. That's 1 cup of breadcrumbs. And I mixed all that together. And when you mix thyme, dried thyme, and onion together like that, it just, bam, hits you right in the face. It is such a great smell. I love that smell. It just wafts right in. Oh, it might be my new favorite. And I talk about a different smell every week. That one, I forgot how much I enjoy that one. So plain breadcrumbs with some thyme and onion powder, and that's it. And all I'm going to do is lightly coat it. So I'm just going to put the chicken in the egg and just roll it over twice. Okay, so I know I got egg on there because it's all gooey. Then I'm going to, see, I'm holding it with the toothpicks. Ha! Put it in the breadcrumbs. Scoop some breadcrumbs on the top. Push them down so it sits. I'm just going to turn it over once or twice. Toss some on there. And that's it. It's lightly breaded. Lightly breaded. That's all. And let me show you. When you're done with your chicken, go in the fridge here. This is what they're going to look like. Huh? I'm going to add this piece that I showed you how to make to this. I've got the toothpicks up. Toothpicks up. Got them all lined up. Now you can see, you see how I have them arranged? They're all side by side, next to each other. Toothpicks are up, and they're ready to go in. There's nothing else in that pan except you could spray it with cooking spray, Or I took 2 tablespoons of olive oil, put them in the pan, and wiped it down so I got olive oil everywhere so nothing will stick while it's cooking. And that's it. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and put these in the oven and let them bake for 25 to 30 minutes. I set the oven on 375. I'm going to go ahead and put these in. And like I said, 25 to 30 minutes is really all they're going to need. And frankly, the most important thing is when you check them, when you pierce it with your thermometer to check the temperature, you want to make sure the internal temperature is 165 degrees, good job, and that whatever liquid comes out of the chicken is clear. 2 most important factors. You got those 2 covered, your chicken is done. So, while it's cooking and baking in the oven, we are going to go ahead to the next step and make our sauce that goes on top. Huh? Fantastic. All right, so we've got our chicken in the oven, still got a lot of time. What we need to do while we're waiting, this is the perfect time to make your sauce that goes on top. A nice, slightly Dijon-y cream sauce to put on top of your chicken, finish it off, enhance and tie together all those flavors. Really, really good and super easy to make. So here's what we're going to do. Get our stove going, medium-high heat. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter. 2 tablespoons of butter that we are going to let start to melt. As we get that butter going, see, it's a good melt on there. I'm going to go ahead and add to that 2 tablespoons of flour. That's all I've gotten there so far is butter and flour. You bring that together and it's going to make a little bit of a paste. A goo, if you will, a goo. Now, we're going to add to that 1/4 cup of dry white wine. You hear it? Ooh, look at that. Hear the sizzle, and it starts to take form. Getting a little thicker. Next step, 3/4 cup, up to you. Some recipes call for heavy cream. I don't like heavy cream. I don't like the flavor. I'm using half and half. I like half and half. Some recipes call for milk, maybe a whole milk. Like I said, I'm using half and half. 3/4 cup of half and half. I added it to our 1/4 cup of dry white wine, 2 tablespoons of butter, and 2 tablespoons of flour, and I'm just going to keep whisking it together. And it's going to slowly now come to a boil. It's already thick, as you can tell, which is good because you want a nice thick sauce for chicken cordon bleu. And as that's coming to a boil, I'm going to add our next piece. I've got 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. That's it. 1 tablespoon of Dijon. And I'm going to whisk that in. Huh? Isn't that pretty? I like that yellowy color. Ooh. I've got dry white wine and a Dijon smell hitting me right in the face. I love it. Now, here's the beauty of this sauce. See how thick that is? You see how thick that is? That's what you want. That's correct. Now, I'm going to let that sit on the stove long enough to see the bubbles come up. As soon as it starts to boil, as soon as I get those bubbles, turn it off. That's it, and that's the last step. Here come the bubbles. See them? See the popping? Beautiful. Give it a stir. Make sure I've got my bubbles. Yep. Turn it off. That's it. Any longer, and it'll burn. I don't want that to happen. Oh, I just got wafted in the face with Dijon mustard. I love that. Last two pieces, and you want to do these at the end. 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Stir that in. And that salt and pepper we were using before, still have it. I'm going to do a couple of pinches here. Not much, because remember, all of this has a lot of salt. Swiss cheese has salt, ham definitely has salt, Parmesan cheese, full of salt. Don't need a lot. There, 3 pinches of salt and pepper. I'm going to stir it in. Look at that, huh? Oh, beautiful. And that's it. We're done. Going to wait a few more minutes for the chicken, pull it out, and plate this up. It has been our 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and see what we... Oh, look at those. You hear that sizzling? Only thing we have coming out on the sides is cheese, which is fine. I love it. I'm going to check my temperature. Well, the chicken's temperature, not my temperature. We are at a whopping 170 degrees. Perfect. Turn the oven off. Oh, these came out so well. I am so excited. Now, let's plate this up. So many wonderful ways to plate this. So many things go with chicken cordon bleu. For our purposes, we're going to lay them out in a presentation format, probably serve it with some salad. So let people grab the pieces of chicken that they want and have their salad. You can also do this really, really well with potatoes and rice. I wouldn't do things like au gratin and stuff because it's just too heavy. I would stick with lighter side dishes. Vegetables, grilled or sauteed vegetables are really, really nice as well. We're going to do salad. It's summer, it's hot. Let's keep it light. But look how gorgeous these are. So we're going to go ahead. Whew. I'm going to lay each piece down, make a presentation out of it, because remember, when you have people eating with their eyes, you want them to be excited. And in case you were wondering, no, I did not forget about the toothpicks. I'm going to start grabbing them now. You see how easily they're sliding out of here? Watch. See? Just a little trick. I soaked them in water ahead of time. You know, when you make kebabs, you should always soak your skewers, maybe overnight, in water so they don't burn on the grill. When you're doing something like this, you soak your your toothpicks for a few hours in some water before you use them. It makes it that much easier for them to slide out. Little trick. Don't tell anyone. But there. So we've got our chicken, our skewers, or toothpicks. I guess we have to make kebabs because I really got skewers on the brain. There. Oh, man. I am loving that. Let's get you out of here. We don't need you. Move this out of the way. What about our sauce? Ooh. We have our sauce to add. Now remember, that sauce, it's not hard to make. You saw me do it. The only part that's tricky is you don't want it to get too thick. So when you turn it off, if it has to sit for a few minutes while you're waiting for your chicken to finish, add a little bit more milk or cream. Stir it in. That way it keeps it from getting too thick, too gummy. And all we're going to do is lay some on top of each piece. That's why, like I said, you want a thick sauce because of the presentation. I want it to stay right there. And that's it. Wow. Look at those. We need some more color. We need to make it beautiful. And I've got fresh parsley that I went ahead and chopped up. So I'm going to sprinkle a little on top. Done. How beautiful are those? Wow, did they come out nice. I cannot wait to try this. I cannot wait to cut them open and see. Wow, that is beautiful stuff. And there you have it. Whew. I hope you enjoyed watching that as much as I enjoyed doing it. Thank you for this. Thank you for the suggestion. I love the idea. I love the trip down memory lane. Pulling out this book. Man, that was fun. This book was given to me by a friend my freshman year of college. I was supposed to maybe do poetry or something in it, which I'm not much of a poet. But I got to start putting recipes in it, and there's so much great stuff in here, and I loved digging this one up. Wow, this was great. Please try this. Leave me a comment below. Let me know how it comes out for you. Ask me something else you'd like to see done. I would get a kick out of doing it. Give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and click that bell so you get notifications and you know when the next video is coming. You folks take care. Share this with everybody. I hope to see you soon. All right. Bye-bye.